All right, welcome back. This is a continuation of previous video on OOPS. So in this video, I will show how we can use OOPS on a data set, right? So in today's video, we will discuss how we can automate the data cleaning, such as removal of duplicates and missing values. And later in the video, I will also discuss how we can automate the data pulling from different websites using API and OOPS together. So let's get started. So I have got a data set of Airbnb of New York City, which I got from Kaggle. Right, here's this. Okay, so I'll also share this in the description. Okay, so I have already downloaded the file, CSV file, and let's quickly go ahead and load it up, right? So first we need, right? Let me just go ahead and copy the path. All right, so we have our data set in df variable. Let's now go ahead and check for null values or missing values before we proceed to do the object-oriented programming or structure it. That's obviously we'll have to check the missing values and the duplicates, right? So if you have gone through the previous videos, right, then you'll see how we can check the missing values or the duplicates, right? So this is how you check for the missing values. Oh, my bad. Right, so you can see the column name, the last review, and the review per month has missing values. Now here we need to understand which missing values need to be removed and which has to be worked on. Most of the time, the column which has very high percent or volume of missing values, they need to be dropped, right? And here I'll be doing the same with last review or reviews per month. Okay, so I most probably will go ahead and impute few methods so that the name and host name is covered, right? But I do not think that last review and reviews per month is that important, so we can definitely go ahead and drop them, right? Okay, so this was one insight that we found, what or which column needs to be dropped, right? Now let's go ahead and quickly check for the duplicates. So even this I have discussed in my previous video in data wrangling, how to check for the duplicates. So yes, this is how you check for the duplicates. But again, we have 48,000 rows of data, right? So we cannot just go ahead and keep checking everything one by one, right? From here we can see that there are no duplicates so far, but still, you know, we are not sure. So what we can do is just run this. See, so apparently, this says that there is no duplicates in our data set. So makes sense because even if let's say the host name John can be many over here, right? Brooklyn neighborhood group could be many, but again, if you see the combination, they all will be different, right? Most probably reviews per month or last review, they will vary. So, if the combination in the whole row is varying and is not matching with the next row, so the system or the command will not consider them as duplicates, right? So it's good that we do not have duplicates, but if we want to go ahead and check for a particular column, obviously we can use subset, and then we can find in that particular column how many duplicates are there or not. Okay, so so till now we are clear that how many missing values we have, how many duplicates we have, and what we are gonna do with the missing values, and what will be our approach in respect to duplicates, right? So let's go ahead and start writing code for this thing so that we can automate the cleaning process, right? So I have written the code over here. You can see this is an object-oriented programming line of code, and I have created a data cleaner class and given multiple methods over here. So now the thing is, first, obviously, I've gone ahead and used a constructor method or the init method, right, where I am mentioning the file path or I am loading the data. Either I go ahead and mention the file, right, the df, or I go ahead and use the file path or the location. So I felt that giving the location is much easier because uh, you know you need not every time load it over here. You can just go ahead and give a file path in this location because
Because
we
we
are
are
automating
automating
things,
things,
right?
right?
So
So
give
give
the
the
file
file
path
path
where
where
your
your
file
file
will
will
be
be
loaded
loaded
in
in
the
the
df,
DF,
right?
right?
Then
Then
again,
again,
I
I
have
have
created
created
next
next
method
method
is
is
dropping
dropping
the
the
missing
missing
values,
values,
right?
right?
So
So
in
in
this,
this,
I'll
I'll
drop
drop
the
the
missing
missing
values
values
depending
depending
on
on
the
the
columns,
columns,
right?
right?
So
So
here,
here,
if
if
you
you
see
see
which
which
column
column
I'm
I'm
going
going
ahead
ahead
and
and
dropping
dropping
is
is
review
review
per month because as I mentioned earlier that there are two columns, last review and reviews per month, so these two have very high volume of missing data. So we can go ahead and drop any of these columns, right? So in this, I have used column, as one of the parameter. So we know that we need to give column attribute over here, right? So in place equals to true. So what is this in place? So in place, if you keep it as true, that means whatever the changes that has to happen will happen on, this df. Okay, it will not create any other file or any other data format uh, for this, right? So same goes even over here for duplicate. Whatever the changes gonna happen is gonna happen on the df variable, right, that we have created. And then goes for the duplicates. So in duplicates, I have not gone ahead and selected any other column just because there are possibilities that name or host name or city, state, all these things can be uh, you know same, in all the rows. Like we have got 48,000 rows, so it can be possible that host name, if you take a column as host name, then there can be possibility that if there is John as host name, it can repeat again because John must be having multiple properties or having multiple visitors, right, who come and stay in his Airbnb. So in that case that will not be considered as a duplicate, right? That's a duplicate, but that's a useful duplicate, so does not make any sense to remove that or drop that, right? So but what's unique, the id is going to be unique. So though we know that there are no duplicates right now in this data set because we have already checked it, but still if we have to drop the duplicates, it could be depending on the id, right? And then return self. So return self is basically a chainable function, okay, so that you see here. So all these are interconnected to each other. So if you do not give return self at any of these methods, and then when you run this class, you will not get the output. You will most probably get the output as 0 or none, right? So remember, this return self is a chainable function, okay? So this is interconnected to this is connected to this. So even if you miss, return self at any of the methods, then you will get none as output. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and run this. And we have our clean underscore df over here. Okay. Now you would be seeing that everything is same. Okay. And what's gone is, reviews, right? So all the missing values of the reviews per month is gone. So because we were seeing that, one moment, right? Reviews per month has got how many? Around like 10,000 missing values, right? Now, if uh, we check the shape, right? So this is the original DF or data frame uh, shape. That is, it has got like 48,895 rows and 16 columns, right? Now, if you go ahead and check the shape of the clean underscore df, this one, right? You would say it's almost 38,843, right? That's after, cleaning, all the missing values, or though we did not have any duplicates, so it's after removing and dropping all those values, this is what we get, right? So we need not do analysis on this 48,895 anymore. We can just go ahead and do analysis, or plot graphs and bring insights from this clean data frame that we have got, right? So this was just to give you an example, how you can create, you know, an oops class and use methods to just drop the missing values. Because what you can do is just give the folder location or anything like that, and just keep these things same, change the column that you want to remove or work on, right? And it will be done. So for every other data set, you can keep this constant and just change the necessary information so that your thing will be quick. You need not write large or huge line of codes for every other data set or every other data that you have. So apart from this, drop missing values, remove duplicates, we can do a lot more, right? We can do some statistical analysis, or we can even work on them. We can like figure out the outliers. Uh, I'll cover outliers next time, but outliers is something, if you have a range, let's say you have got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay, let's say this is the score marks. Okay, let's say five students got 10, 12, 15, 17, 19, and the sixth student all of a sudden, let's say, got like out of 30 he got 29. So that 29 value is outlier, isn't it? Because the first five students were below 20 and all were near approximate numbers, isn't it? It starts with 10, first one got 10, second one got 12, third one got 15, then fourth one got 15 again, fifth one got like 16 or 17, something like that. So all these are, have some near approximate numbers, but the sixth student all of a sudden got 20, scored 29 or 30. So this is an outlier. Okay, and there's a way how we can calculate the outlier, that is using interquartile range, and I will definitely make a short and quick video on that next time. But these are all the things that we can do using the OOP structure, right? Now, the next thing that I want to quickly discuss over here is how we can pull the data from API, right? So I had already covered and discussed in my previous videos how using API key we can fetch data, right? And that's what I'll be trying to show here. So what will be the advantage using the OOP structure for pulling data using API is that you just need to change your URL and your API key, and rest everything will be done, right? So let me just go ahead and quickly show that to you. Okay, so this was my previous video, flattening nested JSON data uh, script. So you can see I had put keyword API key, API URL, and then used response, which is one of the key functions of request library, right? So use this response request. Request is the function. I'm so sorry. Request is the function of request library to get API URL. So, then we get response 200, which says success, and then, we get some data like this, and then we had gone ahead and normalized the data, right? So, similar way, I have written this code over here. So I had given the, base URL and then the API key, then, another method fetch data, right? So in this, I've gone ahead and created a dictionary with Q as keyword and API key. So because you can see over here what I had done is Q was the keyword in API key. Here was this API key, right? And keyword I had taken in from the user, right? So the same way I have done that, and here I have gone ahead in the same method, fetch data method. I have gone ahead and given an if-else condition. It's because if you see here, if it was success, then I will get this data, right? It asks for user information and then gives me the response code, right? And then when I go ahead and print this, I'll get this data, raw data, right? So the same way, I have said that if it is equal to 200, because I know 200 is, it means for success, right? Then return response.json, right? Raw data equals to response.json, right? Else, if there is any error, tell me what the error code is, right? So in this, when you pull use the request library, then you have couple of codes. We know 200 is for success. Then we have got 400 and 401. So let me check that and tell you just quickly. So yes, I just checked, and we have couple of status code. The two important one that I've checked is there is 401, which says that your API key is incorrect, and 403 is for when you have reached the limit. So there for few websites, there is a limit how many times you can call API in a day or in a particular time window. So these three are important status code over here. So anyways, then I have called this API. And one more thing, for ease of explanation, I have gone ahead and put the API key in such format, but it is not advised to put the API key in an open variable like this, rather to have a safe environment, right? Even over here, I had gone ahead and put it in an open variable, right? So the actual terminology, which even you can check on how to use the API key is, so it is called read environment safe variable. So this is how generally you can call, so this is how it is called. But I've gone ahead and put it in self API key for the ease of use. So first I need to import OS and then use this and put my API key over here, right? This is called right? So do give this a try, and if possible, I'll go ahead and put down any useful link for learning purpose, right? So yes, now I believe we had created a dictionary over here, put the keyword API key, then if else condition, and when I'm calling the object, right? So I have given Bitcoin, so I can give anything else over here. So instead of putting, in like in the previous code, I had taken the input from the user, but in this case, when I'm calling the object, I go ahead and put the topic, whatever I want over here. So if I want Tesla, I can go ahead Tesla. If I want anything else, I can go ahead use anything else. So, and then I'll get the data. So let's see. See, we got the same raw data over here, how it is, and even over here, right? So now I want to show one thing that I've shown you this is the raw data how you can get it. What if I'm able to normalize everything and get a clean data like this? We had used normalize. Then I'll try to show you how we can do that over here as well, right? All right, let's proceed ahead with few tweaks and changes so that we can normalize the data over here. So how do we proceed ahead? Where do we go ahead and normalize the data? Obviously, we need to create another method, you know, uh, for which is, let's say, normalized data. Okay. And then what do we go ahead and put inside that? Hmm. So obviously it would be self and then the raw data. But where is this raw data gonna come from, right? So obviously, okay, let's do one thing. We will take reference from, you know, our previous code and okay, normal JSON normalize. Okay. Hmm. Raw data articles and the separator, right? Separator was underscore, right? Let's do it the same way. And okay, obviously we need to raw data and what was it? Articles, right? Articles, it's right over here, this one, this articles, right? And the separator was underscore, right? Got it. Okay, this is what we are looking for. But again, the question comes, where is this raw data coming from? Right, let's see. And of course, how can I miss return, right? We need to return self.df, the chainable function, right? As I mentioned. Okay, now what do we need to do next? So can we do this? If we take reference from our previous code, we had given raw data is equal to response.json. So can I go ahead instead of just having response.json, I equate it to raw data equals to response.json, right? And return none. Obviously, if there's an error or something, then return none, right? So I can do that and in return over here, what I can do is I can, because reference of normalized data, I can take return over here. Yeah. Uh, let's see if this works. Yeah, then would be great, right? And let's see. Mm, let's see. Let's go ahead and run this. Oh, okay, good. Right, right, right. Have we got everything? Looks like we have got everything. Yes. See, makes sense. Yeah. So this is all what we need to do. Okay. So create another method with normalized data, you know, and first just, over here, give a variable raw data to response or JSON, just how we do it for, any orthodox or just the traditional way of calling APIs, right? And then return this method with raw data, and over here give the same normalized function, and we are good to go, right? So all right then, this was it about the game changer oops with the data set. So I just wanted to make a quick video without taking much time, and uh, having a lengthy video uploaded on my channel. Well, but it should be quick and understandable. So yeah, I'll be going ahead and putting the link of GitHub and link of this data set and other useful learning resources in my description. So all right then, thank you so much. See you next time.